Hey everyone, and welcome back to Incompete Talks with Mohsin and Mamol. Today, we're diving into a question that's on everybody's minds these days. Is Trump back in the political arena? Is this a win for Pakistan or a big fat worry? We've got a mountain of videos, articles, expert opinions, and trust me, things are about to get spicy. And hey, if you want to know the real story behind Trump and Elon Musk's secret plan, make sure to watch our latest video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming Incompete Talks with Mohsin and Mamol.
It's great to be here. This is a pivotal time, and understanding what Trump's return could mean for Pakistan is crucial.
Okay, let's unpack this. It seems like everybody's got an opinion about Trump, both good and bad. Some are celebrating, some are straight up worried. What's the real story here?
Well, we can't deny that Trump's victory wasn't just political. It was a cultural phenomenon. He's not your typical politician. He rose to power leveraging his celebrity status and connecting with people using unconventional, even provocative rhetoric.
Right. It's like watching a reality TV star step onto the world stage. But here's the thing. His whole America First philosophy, how does that actually play out globally? What did it mean for countries like Pakistan?
That's the million-dollar question. America First essentially signals a more inward-looking U.S. foreign policy. It raises concerns about the U.S. commitment to international agreements, things like environmental protocols and even foreign aid.
Hold on. Didn't Trump pull the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Agreement? And wasn't he super vocal about cutting back on foreign aid?
Exactly, and those are just a couple of examples. He's also openly questioned global warming and focused heavily on boosting U.S. industries, even if it means bumping heads with international partners.
So how's Pakistan reacting to all of this? They must be watching this unfold very closely.
Pakistan's response has been mixed. Some big names, like Bilawal Bhutto, see Trump's win as a sign that American voters are tired of war. They view it as potentially positive.
That makes sense. A less interventionist America could be a good thing for a country that's often caught in the crosshairs, right?
Right. But there's another side to this. Others, particularly those aligned with the PTI, emphasize that Trump won a clear election. They're focused on respecting the democratic process regardless of who wins.
So two very different ways of looking at the same event. It's like they say one person's trash is another person's treasure. But what stands out to you as the most important takeaway from all of this?
What's interesting is that while some in Pakistan hope Trump's return will benefit them, I think that's a bit of a fantasy, U.S. foreign policy towards Pakistan has shifted significantly since 2017. The focus now is more on strengthening ties with India and containing China.
You're saying Pakistan might not be as high on Trump's priority list as some people think?
Exactly. There's evidence to back this up. The national security strategy under Trump barely mentioned Pakistan. And then in Biden's 2022 national security policy, Pakistan is completely absent. Plus, there's the ban on companies supplying equipment for Pakistan's ballistic missile program.
Those are some pretty strong signals. You know, when we talk about Trump, it's hard to ignore some of his, let's call them controversial actions in the past. His stance on climate change, immigration, his comments about women, and even his handling of the pandemic.
It's a complicated picture, no doubt. These are valid concerns, and they raise questions about how his past behavior might predict his future actions, and how those actions could impact Pakistan.
This is where things get tricky. Some in Pakistan believe Trump will be a champion for democracy. But then there's his track record, and, well, some of his actions seem to contradict that belief.
It's a paradox, isn't it? We're talking about someone who questioned election results, faced accusations of undermining democratic institutions, and was even linked to the January 6th Capitol riot.
Okay, so we've got this situation where Trump's actions sometimes speak louder than his words. It begs the question, does he truly value democratic principles, or are they just a convenient tool for him?
That's a question we're thinking about. And it's not just about Trump himself. His rise is part of a larger global trend. The increasing popularity of far-right ideologies.
Whoa, now we're zooming out to the big picture, and this is where things get even more intense. What does this global shift towards the far right mean for democracy, human rights, and international cooperation?
Big questions, absolutely. And they have direct implications for Pakistan. How will these global shifts shape Pakistan's future? These are questions we need to explore carefully.
And explore we will. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to stay ahead of the curve on all things global politics. And stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll dig even deeper into the potential impact of Trump's return on Pakistan. We'll be discussing the controversial Project 2025 and what it could mean for everything from abortion rights to environmental regulations. Plus, we'll examine Trump's relationship with Pakistan in the past and what it might tell us about the future. All right, so before the break, we were talking about this global rise of the far right and some of Trump's, let's call them unconventional actions. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. What are some specific things Pakistan should be worried about?
One thing that's raising eyebrows is Project 2025. It's basically a blueprint for a Trumpian America put together by a network of right-wing politicians and thinkers.
Project 2025. Sounds kind of ominous, doesn't it? Like something out of a sci-fi movie. But seriously, what's the deal with this project? And how does Trump fit into all of this?
Well, Trump hasn't come out and endorsed every single detail of the plan, but it definitely aligns with some of his core beliefs and potential future actions. Think of it as a sneak peek into what a second Trump term might look like.
Okay, so Project 2025 is like a preview of Trump's potential playbook. What are some of the key points that could directly impact Pakistan?
There are several. One is the goal of making abortion illegal. Now, this might seem like a purely U.S. issue, but it has the potential to create ripple effects globally.
It's like a social and political earthquake. We've seen how divisive this issue is in the U.S. Could it encourage similar anti-abortion movements around the world?
Exactly. It's something to consider. Then there's the proposal to eliminate the Department of Education. This could significantly impact education access and quality in the U.S.
And if the U.S. is struggling with its own education system, what does that mean for their support of educational initiatives in countries like Pakistan? Could we see funding dry up?
That's a real possibility. And then there's the environmental front. Project 2025 calls for dismantling environmental regulations. This could have devastating consequences for climate change. And Pakistan is particularly vulnerable to its effects.
We're talking floods, droughts, extreme weather events, all the things that hit countries like Pakistan hardest. Not good.
Not good at all. And it doesn't stop there. Project 2025 also advocates for expanding presidential authority and gaining control over the Justice Department.
Wait a minute, isn't that a bit worrisome? It sounds like concentrating a lot of power in the hands of one person.
Yes, it raises serious concerns about the erosion of democratic norms and checks and balances. And this could have major implications for U.S. foreign policy decisions, including those related to Pakistan.
So basically what happens in the U.S. doesn't stay in the U.S. It ripples outwards, and Pakistan could get caught in the current.
Precisely. And let's not forget the plan to fire thousands of civil servants.
Wow, that's a bold move. What's the thinking behind that?
Those who support this idea say it will streamline government. But critics worry it could lead to chaos and instability within the U.S. administration, which could then impact its ability to engage effectively on the world stage.
Okay, so potential for internal U.S. drama that could spill over into its foreign policy. Got it. What else is on this Project 2025 agenda?
Well, there's a big push to promote the oil and gas industry. This, of course, raises red flags when it comes to climate change. And it could further disadvantage countries like Pakistan that rely on foreign aid and are already dealing with the effects of climate change.
It's like a double whammy. Potential cuts to foreign aid A&D policies that could worsen the climate crisis.
And finally, there's the proposal to withdraw the U.S. from the World Bank and the IMF. Now, this is a big one.
Whoa, hold the phone. Withdrawing from the World Bank and the IMF? That's like shaking the foundations of the global financial system.
Exactly. The impact on global financial stability would be huge. And for countries like Pakistan that depend on development funding from these institutions, it could be disastrous.
So if we connect this back to Pakistan, it's not looking too rosy, is it? We've got this mix of potential policy changes that could directly harm Pakistan's interests, from climate change to foreign aid to global financial instability.
It certainly is a lot to consider, and it underscores the need for Pakistan to carefully assess the potential ramifications of a Trump presidency and develop a proactive strategy to navigate this complex and evolving landscape.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from Project 2025 to the potential global fallout. But now let's zoom in on a very specific relationship, Trump and Pakistan. Because to understand what a second Trump term might hold, we need to look at what happened the first time around.
Right. History can offer valuable insights. And in the case of Trump and Pakistan, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride.
Remember that time Trump tweeted that Pakistan was taking billions in aid while harboring terrorists? Talk about throwing shade on the world stage.
Oh, absolutely. That tweet caused a diplomatic firestorm and really strained U.S.-Pakistan relations.
Then there's the whole Afghanistan withdrawal situation. Trump started the process of pulling American troops out of Afghanistan, which of course has a huge impact on Pakistan given its proximity and history with Afghanistan.
Exactly. The U.S. withdrawal created a whole new set of dynamics in the region, with both risks and opportunities for Pakistan. And it really highlighted the need for Pakistan to think strategically about its own interests and how to navigate this shifting landscape.
So looking back, it seems like Trump's relationship with Pakistan was characterized by moments of cooperation, but also a lot of tension and unpredictability. Does any of this give us clues about how he might approach Pakistan in a second term?
Well, there's no crystal ball. But if we use his past behavior as a guide, it suggests he'll likely prioritize U.S. interests above all else. And if those interests clash with Pakistan's, well, history shows he won't hesitate to take a tough stance.
So Pakistan might find itself in a delicate balancing act, trying to manage its own needs with the demands of a Trump-led America. It sounds like a recipe for some tricky diplomatic maneuvers.
Indeed. And let's not forget the wild card factor. Trump is known for being unpredictable, and that could make it even more challenging for Pakistan to anticipate and respond to his actions.
All right, so after hearing all of this, it seems like Trump's return to the political arena is a bit of a mixed bag for Pakistan. There's potential for both good and bad. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Absolutely. And for Pakistan, understanding the nuances of Trump's policies, his worldview, and his past interactions with the country is essential for navigating this new reality.
Well said. So after hearing all of this, what do you think? Is Trump's return a net positive or negative for Pakistan? And what does it say about the future of global politics? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more Incompete Talks with Mohsin and Memel. We're constantly exploring the most pressing issues of our time, bringing you in-depth analysis and thought-provoking discussions.
Okay, so we've talked about the global implications, and we've talked about Trump's past relationship with Pakistan. But now, let's shift gears and bring this all home. What does this mean for you, the people of Pakistan? How might this impact your lives, your families, your future?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? We can analyze global trends and political strategies all day long, but ultimately, it comes down to how these things affect people on the ground.
Exactly. So let's talk about some potential scenarios. If Trump follows through with some of the policies outlined in Project 2025, like cutting foreign aid or withdrawing from international organizations, what might that mean for Pakistan's economy?
Well, it could definitely create economic challenges. Reduced foreign aid could mean less funding for essential services, like healthcare and education. And withdrawing from organizations like the World Bank could limit Pakistan's access to development loans, making it harder to invest in infrastructure and other key projects.
And what about climate change? We know Pakistan is already feeling the effects of climate change, with increased flooding and extreme weather events. How might Trump's environmental policies impact that situation?
That's a major concern. If Trump rolls back environmental regulations in the U.S., it could accelerate climate change globally, leading to even more severe consequences for Pakistan. We could see more frequent and intense heat waves, droughts, and floods, which would impact everything from agriculture to public health.
So there are some very real potential risks for Pakistan, but are there any potential opportunities as well?
There could be. For example, if Trump prioritizes negotiating trade deals that benefit the U.S., Pakistan could potentially leverage its strategic location and manufacturing capabilities to secure favorable trade agreements, but this would require careful diplomacy and negotiation.
So it seems like Pakistan is facing a complex and uncertain future with Trump back in the picture. It's going to require some strategic thinking and proactive planning to navigate these challenges and capitalize on any potential opportunities.
Absolutely. It's a time for Pakistan to be assertive in advocating for its interests and building relationships with key partners around the world.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the global implications of Trump's return to his past relationship with Pakistan and what it all might mean for the people of Pakistan. We hope this Incompete Talks with Mohsin and Memel has given you a deeper understanding of this complex issue and sparked some important conversations. Remember, knowledge is power. The more informed we are about the forces shaping our world, the better equipped we are to navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
And if you want to delve even deeper into this topic, be sure to check out the resources we've linked in the description below.
And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more thought-provoking discussions on global affairs. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and stay informed.